are the ones in terms of closing the day for all of you. So before we start from storytelling to business, I think the lead up is great in terms of where we were talking about in the earlier panel, storytelling, content, community, and coming now to a straight one, which is about how to grow business. So before we start, quick conversation on something that's as an icebreaker, that is something that is not on your LinkedIn. So ABR, you can start.
Uh, yeah. So apart from work, LinkedIn, and all of this business, right? I'll give you a personal touch of the story.
Absolutely.
I'm a very passionate cricket analyzer with a strong background in math. And thankfully, it's like for me, my wife is also a very passionate cricket follower. So long evenings, we used to watch test matches, we used to analyze, we used to have a lot of debates. She keeps on winning, and all of this blah, blah, blah happened. And then one day I realized that, no, this is not the way to win over it. So your Cricinfo has a commentary, has a script of your player ball by ball over all
Yeah.
of his lifetime history. So I just scraped all of it and then built a small model on what would be the next big thing for this player. Like when he'll be out, who is his weakest link in the opposite team and all of it. And then the debates actually quantified to my winning strategy. And substantially my winning strategy improved. And if it becomes 90 or 100%, I'll start thinking on monetizing this. So convince your wife first before you go and convince out the world.
So you're already betting on Dream 11s or not?
Thankfully, let's see where it goes.
Interesting. Surinder.
On LinkedIn, we try to elaborate whatever professional things, and sometimes on the down we write, I play this also. So I think what as a person, which I feel that which defines you is which sports or the way you think about activities is what you as a person you are in your professional life also. So me as a person is a very mission oriented always. If I have a mission, we kill it. 80% of my time, life, everything becomes that mission for whatever time I do that. And it has been throughout my career also. Like even when last time when I was in Volvo, we said, okay, we take, our mission was, global mission was Africa. And I created a group globally, and it was called, Mission Africa, $1 billion kind of. And we killed it kind of. So that one, I feel that, that defines you wherever your mindset you have. Second, always we think any sports, sport when you want to pick up, we say, okay, if I have not done in my childhood, you may not be able to pick up or you don't become expert of it. But I have never played golf till I moved to South Africa, and my role as a CEO there was to, get into these kind of groups where all CEOs, they play golf out there. So it was not so
peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure. I learned golf in 3 months, and the 7th month we won the tournament. So I was the lead there. So that is not on LinkedIn, and I thought.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Apart from my business education, that is MBA, I'm also a Master's of Philosophy. I've done MA in Philosophy, so that's not out there. And I passionately speak about Indian philosophy wherever I get platforms. So that is one thing that is not there on my LinkedIn. Apart from this, I also write. So I've written a lot of poems, and there were 2 songs that were produced by Titan when I was working with Titan, and they were used as the motivational songs in whatever events we were doing. So yeah, these are a few things.
Wow.
Uh, I think for me, I think I watch a lot of movies, OTT content, which helps me keep my mind refreshed because all of us spend a lot of time in the corporate journey in the office. So it helps me a lot to stay relevant. And obviously, in our space in e-commerce, content is the king. And when you stay relevant by watching these movies, online OTT content, you're able to brainstorm with the content team, and you're able to share your ideas effectively, which eventually works really well. One of the example was I watched Hira Mandi recently, and I liked the products, the apparels that they're wearing it was a very costly product that used to be to us. So we did a collaboration with them. We collaborated for our Libas Art brand, which is a premium offering of ours, so which matches with the offerings what they were trying to show. So I think this is about me.
Wow, so from an analyst to a golfer to a poet to a movie buff, I think I can't match it. So let's move on, diving into the business part. Xavier, I'll start with you. And so from, it's a brilliant connect. If you, I'm sure you must be hearing the last panel, and it was about more about storytelling and building the top of the funnel, the engagement, etc., etc. But if we come to business, how do you look at for an online venture for somebody? What's their next step? And I'm sure all of you have been into that journey in terms of building your brands or say growth stage at multiple of your experiences. So, Xavier, what's your suggestion in terms of what's next?
So, in terms of what next after online, right? It's equally important to understand that is the online journey actually sorted, right? Like within online, there are two parts, right? Like one is your D2C share of business, and the other thing which is on your e-commerce parts, right? Large brands out there, which I speak to and I see, are struggling with increasing the percentage of this D2C share, right? It's important to understand that the D2C cohort is something which the brands are closer to the consumers. You have all the first party data, you understand what the consumer is loving, what the consumer is not loving, you can see where it is firing from, what are the geographies where your brand is penetrating. So until this is sorted, or if you have a fair grip on this, otherwise it's a leaky bucket, right? If this is not sorted, even if we just venture into the retail, someday it comes and backbites us. So it's important to stabilize this. And once this is stabilized, there are three parts to this. First is, let's say you're testing the waters. Like there is absolutely no retail presence, but your online share is significantly good with a strong grip on D2C. Then where do I launch my next retail venture? That's where probably you should use this D2C insights, saying that what are these demographics, what is the age groups, what are the gender cohorts, and marry them, go to all these retail malls. So instead of actually investing on big stores, you can actually, depending on what the brand is, you can have this kiosk setup. You can see where the consumers are coming on. So this is on testing the waters part. Let's say you have a decent retail presence, but being a brand, the categories are always evolving, right? Like you're launching a new category again. Then you will see on D2C where the category is firing, right? Like what are those, again, cohorts which are firing. Depending on those, the entire negotiations can be altered, right? The way you negotiate with your GTMT, the retail trade margins can be extremely different where the brand has penetrated compared to where the brand has not penetrated. You can customize those percentage commissions, versus the entire P&L can be actually positive, right? And the third thing, once there is a significant establishment of new category as well, it's then tying back it to the loop. Then the consumer is into your funnel journey. He has purchased it either from D2C or retail. You have his first party data. Then it's important to understand where is he repeating from. So maybe his first transaction is from D2C, but post that, probably he's just going to a Blinkit to order this thing. Or he's just going to a mall or a more supermarket to just pick your product. And it's important to connect this loop.
Understood. So basically, even if you want to pilot, you pilot not only with big formats, you can pilot with small formats. And how do you build in terms of your presence and negotiation power with GTs?
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant. So, Surinder, coming to you. This entire fashion commerce is built on a lot of discounting, daily trends. A lot of your competitive brands do release 3,000, 4,000 new trends every week. What's different that your brand is doing in terms of creating their presence felt?
No, I think you're right that discounting sometimes becomes the core brand or strategy for many of the brands to just to get their top line, and then they say, okay, once we reach that top line, and then we will
We'll
increase
start
the
reducing,
which never happens, by
which
the
never
way.
happens.
Okay, so that's a very very you know a thing which kills your brand forever. You will not be able to raise the price. In our case, we have seen few of my friends in this industry, those who have gone through this, and this was a good learning for us as a brand also. And for me also personally, I don't believe that much of in discounting. Yes, but Indian customers, they always say we need some discount has to be shown. So the day when we
That's
launched,
how we are.
yeah, and that's how the brands, those who play, they understand that there can be some notional MRP and then some discounting, but it has to have some genuine, the gap between your MRP and the real selling price. But as having said that, if a person or a customer, he understands your brand and the kind of value which you are giving him at that price, he will always, there are people who are ready to pay genuine price for it, even if it is little bit of mass pricing also. So in our case, when we were doing this, people said, okay, storytelling has to be superb, then only this will happen. And we were already into a very niche and very innovative space. So we said, there's difference between storytelling and a genuine storytelling. So people understand whether are you really genuine into it. And then if you are able to solve a problem, when we go to investors, they say, oh, what problem are you solving? Yeah. That should be your everyday question whenever you develop a product, and trickle down to your team also. So whenever we do an innovation, we always ask more than, we have a community of close to 3,000 our own customers, and few of them have become our angel investors also at the initial stage. So they are the people who will say yes or no. I'll give you example that when we were introducing our first product, which was our 30-day no-wash jeans for traveling. Okay, that when we did a survey, 89% of the people, they said, I will be the first person to buy, and this doesn't need more explanation. But when we did one more survey, we got a tech which actually changes your fabric color when you go outside in sun, and indoor and outdoor, it changes color. And only 11% people said we will buy, because that doesn't add any value to his, as a function to his clothing. So that's how when we said, okay, when we will do this, and then came the point of pricing, that okay, normally you get this, and how much you can charge for the tech into it. So there has to be a general, bandwidth where your apparel people in India pay. So they say, okay, if you have a polo T-shirt for say 5,000, then again you play and you will never be able to grow up. So we actually did a reverse R&D that, okay, we said this will be the price point. We will not go above 2,000 on a polo, but our whole ecosystem has to come into this way that we are profitable in this. Then, instead of reducing price only on the product, we did a heavy job on our back end. And myself, I take pride in being an operational excellence. In that area, we have done huge work even in my previous roles. So currently, we save 27% of our cost in our backend, which customer doesn't even see that we are saving money there, and that's why we are able to give value for money to the customers.
Very nice. So basically, if I summarize, then from a point of view of saying that a lot of discounting, of course, there's a notional discount that is required for the user to be hooked on. Apart from that, product innovations, which are usually not seen much in fashion. So you guys are doing that, and get the benefit for the entire chain. And when you build that, you pass on that to the customer, not keep it for yourself. So those are the things, if I summarize. So moving on, quite an interesting question in this sense of what we've been talking about D2C brands. Give us one growth hack for an e-com business or a D2C business, name whatever. Give us this one growth hack.
One growth hack. Okay. First, this growth hacking itself, I would like to spend a little time on this, because growth hacking, a lot of people believe that I'll do something today, tomorrow the revenue or conversion, AOV, something will improve, right? And I think
Not tomorrow, today.
today. Okay. So, I personally believe that growth hacking in that sense is a myth. Okay. The only growth hacking that can work is discounting. And I know a lot of brands are moving away from discounting. For us also, we don't discount because that is not how we want to build the brand. Right? The day you'll pull out the discounting, your brand will come down. Right? So from growth hacking perspective, for a longer term, um, one thing that I personally believe is the way you have laid out your website, right? That is one thing where I've seen a lot of brands are not investing time and energies, right? It's a website is a wonderful place to identify customers' intent, their journey, who they are, just by what they're clicking. Okay, so if you are in a particular business where you are selling a lot of products to a lot of customers, okay, can you create an information architecture on your website where the elements are mutually exclusive, right? So, like the basic example would be men, women, kids, right? So, a man will come, click on the men section, so I know this is a man, right? And can I similarly, can I create multiple sections on my website to just continue to identify who this customer is, what are they looking for today, right? And based on that, I start personalizing the website. So we have seen the benefits of this. We have seen the results, which is basically once we've identified the intent, we've identified who this customer is, and after that, when we're reaching out with retention strategies, the ROASs are better. So this is one example I would like to give here. Second growth hack is invest into brand. Okay, that is going to help in the longer term. I mean, there's no better strategy than building a brand pool in D2C. I mean, everything else will fall apart once the brand is built.
Got it. So, Bhavya, you want to add to this?
Yes. So I think for me, growth hacking would be to derive the right insight. I'll give you one of the example. We were looking at our search data, and it shows that people are searching for plus size specifically. And we asked it from the marketplaces. The keyword was plus size, and we were writing the product description in such a way that it mentions about the brand, not about the description that way. And we just changed it to plus size, incorporated the product description with that keyword change, and it went up significantly. It is the brand name is Excel by Labaz, which caters to the plus size category right now. It was a 10 crore ARR number that time. With just this small change, we sold out all our inventory in 2 months of time. And we have to plan it. Then we didn't assume that this is going to pick up so really well. So we executed that way, and it picked up really well. Today it is 100 crore ARR brand right now. So I think deriving the right insights and then working on it will make your work easier. This I think should work for all of the brands.
Agree. So, from a brand building, of course, that's going to be a longer term game. Discounting, absolutely, how the entire universe has been built. So, discounting works for sure. But at what point in time you get out of it, it's very sticky. It's very a sticky place to be in. Then it's the right insight that you build your products and your services on. Like for terms, the clothing, the product differentiation built on top of it. Mamath, a lot of things you guys have done in terms of being BOCO's offers or discounting or putting the entire bouquet together. So, and this is for everyone, this question. And how do you measure? How do you measure this properly in terms of what is the impact that you're creating for business from a marketing angle? Be it an offline space, be it online space. It's and from last 2 days we've been talking a lot about measurement, those good-looking dashboards, and what is the real value that, from a marketing point of view, we deliver to the business, and how do you measure that?
So it seems simple, but it's not actually simple, right? The simplicity of it is, yeah, whatever we are investing, how is it translating into business, the ROI. But the tough part, probably, if I have to give you from an example of Mamaearth, or probably I worked with Lenskart earlier, even from there is, you invest a lot on this traditional media channels, right? Like, again, one way to go beyond discounting is actually communication, the marketing to the consumer. You need to sell the USPs and you need to sell the product innovations to the consumer. That's how a brand can go away from discounting and actually put in this. So there are a lot of traditional channels where you invest, like media, TV, etc., and all of it, and new age digital channels like Meta, Google, affiliate partnerships, etc. So all of these investments, this funnel has been stitched online, right? Like if you're just a D2C business with no absolute other presence, this is almost matured because you have this one-day click attributions, you have this attributions models built, you know who clicked on the ad, and you know where he came from, and what is the funnel, and what's the ROI. All of this is measured. The challenge comes when we try to understand the impact of this on other channels, right? Like, I'm investing on your Meta, Google, or print TV, etc. But what part of this investment is actually going on to your retail stores, or your Swiggy, Blinkits, or your other e-com websites? This is not measurable because my investment is a consumer is coming. I don't get the consumer data. So to solve this to large extent, the way we used to do is we do a lot of geolifting experiments, right? Go dark on some geos or open up on some geos, see the impact over there, normalize it with earlier trends and see what is that ROI. And net, once you are scaling this basis, this geolift experiments, the net PNL and CM3 should start getting better. And this is how largely we try to stitch the measurement, but again, we are not perfect here.
Got it. Yep.
I think, sometimes in a business we do too much of over-analysis kind of stuff.
Yeah, correct.
So, and the day you do that,
Noise knows what they do.
So it has both pros and cons, but more of cons than. So if you have to have some metrics which actually have, which solves your 80% of insights which you actually want. That is one. Second, the all stakeholders. Sometimes what happens is you take only key people inside your boardroom and you discuss, and they are very passionate, and then you think that they have, tickled down the requirements or the insights in a same way, the way you wanted, which sometimes doesn't happen. So what we have done is that, we have a separate meeting where only our CA and key people sit. But once after all detailed analysis is done, we have 5 key matrices that we actually bring full team, and then we say, okay, this is what only you should see. For example, I'll give you a very simple thing which our whole team is passionate about, is that in next 8 months, we have to have 100,000 customers who can contribute 10,000 of pocket share in a year. So that means if a person buys 1 jeans, 1 t-shirt or 2 t-shirt, or his pocket, he should share 10,000 rupees of wallet to terms. And that into 100,000 is, if you multiply, it will be 100 crore of share. So, that's a community which we want to build. And everybody in our whole office knows that where are we today, how much we have added in last month, and how many people into this are actually closer to that, what kind of campaigns. So, our mission is that, but there are levers which will actually to, make this happen. So what happens when you have that? That actually takes care of your retention, new customer addition, less RTO, correct, profitability. That one matrix actually will have a lot of impact. So keep it simple. Which actually, and communicate to your team in such a way that actually even at lunchtime they should discuss that matrix in a very casual way.
Yeah, not having multiple KPIs or having multiple KPIs can be suicidal as well. So Mayur.
So for us also it is something similar to what ABR explained. Okay, so we also, when we are looking at incrementality offline, from the media spends, from the marketing spends, okay, we switch off some markets and then switch on and then see what is the change that we are seeing in the sales, and that's how we try to figure out what is the incremental sale that we have got, right? And in certain cases, we also try to arrive at some baseline that this is what is happening today as it is. I'll give you one example that we have around 100 stores, right? And today, customers call our stores and then, they would go to the store and make a purchase, right? And parallelly, we're doing a lot of activities online to drive walk-ins to the stores. But there was no one way for us to figure out what actually is happening offline. So we changed all our phone numbers in the stores to virtual numbers, right? Um, and that helped us in creating a baseline that today, without any campaign, so many people anyways call our stores, right? And so many of them anyway go to the store and make a purchase. So there's some number that is coming, some 3-4% after they make the call, they go to the store and make a purchase, right? After that, we started the campaign, and that's when we started seeing that, okay, the number now, is it going up or not, right? The conversion at the store after the call has it gone up or not? If not, then what are the interventions that we can do in between to ensure that that conversion also improves? Okay. So after setting some baseline and after having a lead metric, lag metric, you need to then start looking at some leading metrics in between. What is it that I can do or change to improve that? And that is how we generally try to see. It is not a perfect number, but at least it gives us some direction that which market to focus on, which market to improve our efforts on, and which are the markets that are best in terms of ROI.
Got it. So basically, then it becomes certain indicators which tells you that you are in the right direction, be it brand search queries, be it the call volume, be it the footfall, and you have that baseline. Yeah, Bhavin.
So I think I can talk about two verticals. One in online, another one is offline. In case of online, we have all the data available. When someone is landing onto your website, opening the collection page, any PDP page specifically, adding into the cart, checkout, conversion, all of it. So I think this is one thing that helps us keep a track of it. In case of online, it is very easier. And when you track it using different channels, let's say for performance marketing, normally the attribution window is 5 to 7 days of time. In case of retention, where we're using different channels like email, SMS, and WhatsApp, 24 to 40 days are at the max. In case of SEO, it is a long-term game. So all these channels shows different touch points where the progress is happening with respect to that journey, and then you eventually take a call where to spend your marketing dollars eventually. I think this is what has helped us achieve certain good ROAS for online business. And when it comes to offline specifically, offline, in case of offline, there is no data point available. But we have tried to implement in our stores, what we have done is that how many people are entering into the store. Obviously, no one cannot keep a manual count of that.
Yeah.
So there are cameras installed in the stores with the AIs configured at the back end, which tracks how many people are entering into the store. Number one, that becomes a session for you, the way it happens in case of online. How many people are interacting, touching the product specifically, that becomes your PDP. How many people are then eventually going to the counter to make a purchase. So I think this data was not available in case of offline vertical specifically. We worked on it. Now we have the data. And once we have the data, we eventually took a call that, let's say if the PDPs are not happening, let's say people are not moving towards any of the specific product, we encouraged the sales guy to let the consumer know what are our offerings and make it more engageable, so that if it was, let's say 100 people are entering into the store, if let's say certain area of the store people were not visiting, we asked our sales guy to make them come to that place and see more of our offerings. So I think we have the data now. We are able to eventually again increase the conversion in case of offline stores. And this is how we track in case of online and offline.
That's quite interesting, and I think it has much more application beyond, and it's a very interesting way of looking at setting up the impressions or the touch and feel, and then the conversions at an offline place. So to finish it up, round it up, one word, one sentence, one word, cheat code for everyone in terms of how do you look at D2C as a thing that I take away from. So basically, one word which we all can look back when we go to our jobs tomorrow.
It's like gold mine. Keep investing on D2C. That shines up the business. So far, my learnings from various industries. Yeah.
Keep investing.
Keep investing on D2C. Never let that leak, because the share of D2C determines how long the thrust or the propel can go ahead. Yeah.
I would summarize like this, that, this is a process where everybody wants to create a brand, be it any channel, D2C. So in this journey, always remember that the perception is made once, and after that, everything is correction. So if you invest time, and that correction can be very costly exercise. So do whatever things you want to do for brand. Maybe it is bit of a journey with some patience, but do it right. So create a good perception and don't let into get into correction mode.
Okay, so if you're only online D2C brand, go offline also, because the when you go offline, it will bring in the goodness of experience and profitability, and online will bring in the scale and reach. So these two worlds coming together is where the magic happens. So only online D2Cs, please move offline also.
Got it.
I think for me, I think I would say keep optimizing. The efficiencies will bring in that case. And this is how the bottom line will be helpful to be. We will be able to achieve the bottom line as a target that we have set for the business. So I think optimization is the key at a constant level.
So basically, then we are saying, if I club all of this together, it's about be consistent, keep investing, be at it, optimize it to the levels where you can, look at new opportunities, be it geographies or adding an entire leg of operations, and the right brand. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you
Thank you.
everyone for patiently hearing us and not sleeping off.
Any questions? Any questions for the panelists?
We were bang on time.
We can, yes, one question. Can we have a mic there, please? Here, Paritosh.
Hi, my question is to Bhave. Paritosh, I represent Blackberries. Bhave.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned about having cameras in your store and identifying how the consumer behaves in his journey in the store. So when you say so it's a two prolonged question. One thing is, do you get any privacy concern when you have cameras installed in your store? Second part is, how do you track the journey? Is it is an automated journey of a customer? Is the tracking automated, or is there someone who's looking at the tracking of a customer in the store?
So we have certain technologies in place. There are certain AIs which are configured with the cameras at the back end. One thing that it tells you, everything is automatic. They just look at the impressions, AI angles, algorithms that they keep a track of how the movement is happening in the store. One is footfall, and obviously you have the conversion in place, how many purchases are happening. You are able to drive the conversion rate. And which area in the store, let's say in the large format store, in case of Lajpat Nagar, we have a very big store. So there are certain areas which remains untouched. Not many people are going to that place. So, and a lot of good inventory is parked at that place. So that we keep a track of. And how many people are actually moving to one specific place. What kind of product are they liking? What kind of product are they looking at it? That also we derive from that data. So this is the kind of data that gets made available using those technologies in place.
And how do you manage the privacy concern of the consumer?
Cameras are everywhere in that case. It is not in the changing room, it is in the overall general room. So
do you announce it that, there's a camera installed in the store and your movements may get tracked?
People are able to see it. The cameras are available everywhere, wherever you go. Even the regular stores as well, Shoppers Stop, Lifestyle. Cameras are everywhere so that you're able to track the employees' efficiency as well at the same time. And I think it is very required in nature to track the operational efficiency.
So till the time it is generalizing, from a privacy concern point of view, till the time you are not looking at personalizing to me or working on my data in terms of mining my next sale, till that time privacy shouldn't be a concern, because any which ways when you enter these kind of stores, it's a norm that I've accepted that there will be cameras.
I think my understanding is that you need to announce that the cameras are in the stall and
Sure.
your movements may get tracked. What I was trying to ask, do you announce it? You don't, because
But those are
fundamentally the
visible
privacy law
everywhere.
says that you need to announce that there's a camera in this store and your movement may get tracked. I mean, that's where my...
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I think we are out of time now, so we need to take the rest of the questions offline. But that was a wonderful session and a wonderful panel. Ashish, thanks for bringing out
Thank you
those
so much.
insights. I think we have D2C brands at every stage of growth here, and they've shared some fabulous pointers that are applicable to all kinds of brands from the industry. So thank you so much. Let's come together for a quick picture. The next panel, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be special because we're going to keep it absolutely interactive and engaging. And we also have gifts for the best questions and for the best comments. A small token of gratitude from our side. Thank you so much, Surinder.